Baltimore's most notable fighter is going back to his roots. Tonight, Hasim Rahman takes on Al Cole in the Rock Zone backyard, the city where he worked his way up the ranks and made his name with a thundering right and devastating knockout power, eventually delivering a heavyweight championship to his hometown. But Rock found life on top to be short-lived. He lost a title rematch with Lewis, and after a few more disappointments, he is fighting for people to simply take notice, looking for turn in fortunes. And yet another title shot. He knows time is running out. He needs to win big. He needs to win big now.
Not only victories, impressive victories. You know, I can't just go out and win decisions. And I can't, you know, just be this boxer who just relies on his jab. It's time to fight and make a big, big statement.
Long journey back to the title begins in Glen Burnie, Maryland, next on Ballroom Boxing. We are back at Michael's 8th Avenue in Glen Burnie, Maryland for a special edition of Ballroom Boxing. Hi again, everybody. I'm Larry Michael. Great to be back with my partner, Jon Saraceno. John, no doubt about it, the place is packed because the former heavyweight champion of the world, Hasim Rahman, is in our main event.
Well, we've got a sellout, and you know what? We've had a lot of excitement in the Ballroom series over the years. Young fighters, contenders, maybe a few pretenders, but Hasim Rahman, for one special night in South Africa 3 years ago, was the man, and he's here tonight.
On the comeback trail, he has not won in his last 4 fights. He takes on Al Cole tonight. This is what Rahman had to say leading up to the fight.
I need to really put some hurt on. It just happened to be Al Cole. I don't have anything against him, but you know, he has to get it. You know, I wish him luck and hope he can come back after what I do to him if he's able to fight again. But I'm just here and to really set Michaels on fire on Thursday, and I'm glad he took the fight. I'm glad he's here in Glen Burnie, and it's time to go now. So.
Well, there you have it, Hasim Rahman and Al Cole in our main event. When we return to the ballroom, our first fight is in the ring. Buckle up. Ballroom Boxing coming your way next.
Ballroom Boxing is brought to you by Toyota, by Crozet, by Everlast, by Michael's 8th Avenue, and by ballroomboxing.com.
Welcome back to Ballroom Boxing. Now let's go to Pat O'Malley for the introduction of the fighters.
Introducing the boxers. First to my right, out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks with the red trim. He weighed in at 160 pounds. He comes to us from Cincinnati, Ohio. His record, 9-3, 8 via the KO. A former U.S. Olympian. Please welcome Dante Craig. To my left, out of the red corner, wearing the blue trunks with the red-white trim. He weighed in at 159.5 pounds from Silver Spring, Maryland. His record, 9-3 with 8 KOs. Please welcome George Armenta. Referee John Gradowski will give the instructions.
Okay, gentlemen, you received your instructions in the dressing room. I want a good, clean, professional fight. Listen to my commands. Protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves. Go to your corners. Wait for the bell. Touch gloves.
All right, so
Schedule
we are
6
set.
rounds.
George Armenta from my hometown, Silver Spring, Maryland, and Dante Craig. Let's look at the matchup quickly, John.
Well, there you see the numbers. Really fairly even. A little bit of a reach advantage for Dante Craig. Let's see how that plays out, Larry.
George Armenta, a very strong, up-and-coming young fighter, 26 years old. His 3 losses have come against very tough competition. Seen George Armenta in the ballroom before, and hey, he's from Silver Spring. What can I say, John?
I hope you don't say it again.
I'm proud of my roots.
I know you are.
George Armenta brings a lot of heat. Dante Craig has been knocked out before.
Where's George Armenta from?
Silver Spring, Maryland, John, in case you didn't know that already. Dante Craig, a great amateur record, 1995 National Golden Gloves champ, and lost in the trials in '96 and missed out on a trip to Atlanta.
Is there anybody famous from Silver Spring, Maryland?
George Armenta.
No, who would be the, besides yourself, who would be the most famous person? Got to be a politician. Or...
I mean, you got a lot of guys. I think if you're looking at the most notable recently, we saw Sean Springs from Silver Spring, Maryland, sign a big contract as a cornerback for the Washington Redskins. A former Seattle Seahawk, went to Springbrook High School in Silver Spring. What more do you want to know, John? Okay. Good left hand by George Armenta. Rocks the world of Dante Craig, who's in some trouble. And he tagged him with the left hand. I just mentioned that Dante Craig had been knocked out previously. George Armenta wants to make a mark for himself in this one against Dante Craig.
He is really coming out strong.
George Armenta, last time out, a TKO victory over Mike McPhail. He is on a 3-fight winning streak. His losses coming to Rogelio Martinez here at Michael's 8th Avenue in a tough unanimous decision loss. Good body shot and a right hand to the head by George Armenta has Craig hanging on.
Well, he's literally hanging on. He's holding on. It's warned by the referee, Gorowski. Blood looks like out of Craig's mouth.
Yes.
Wow. He is getting clipped here in his first round by George Armenta.
Armenta coming with a lot of fire in this one. George Armenta also lost to Yuri Foreman, who remains unbeaten here on the Ballroom back in March of 2002. The other loss was to Sean Garnett in Baltimore back in 2001.
Armenta really headhunting now. I'd like to see him go to the body. He had Craig up against the ropes. He didn't use his body attack. Get him to drop those arms down a little bit, then he can try to stop him. I don't see yellow gloves in professional boxing very often.
It's funny you would mention that, John. That's something that you obviously took note of as these fighters got ready for this one.
Must have been the red contrast with the blood coming out of Craig's mouth.
End of the first round, more Ballroom boxing coming your way in a moment from Glen Burnie, Maryland. All right, round 2 underway. This fight scheduled for 6 rounds here in the Ballroom. George Armenta and Dante Craig, the former Olympian. Larry Michael with Jon Saraceno. Great to be with you for Ballroom Boxing. Ballroom Boxing brought to you by ballroomboxing.com. The latest on the next schedule, as well as Ballroom Boxing merchandise and the Best of Ballroom Boxing series. Log on, ballroomboxing.com.
Are there pictures on that website?
There are some pictures of you and me on the website, so we encourage our fans to come look at Saraceno. Dante, a member of the 2000 U.S. Olympic team, but has been nothing short of a disappointment as a professional. And the 9-3 record, a good indication. The mouthpiece is out of the mouth of George Armenta. But a very good round 1. And round 2 here, a little bit of a different story as it starts out in favor of Dante Craig.
Well, Craig has found out, as a lot of young amateur fighters do, the transition to the professional game is very difficult. In the amateur game, the only thing resembling professional boxing is they wear gloves. Everything else is totally different. Well, he's got to make that transition. Staying busy, that's one thing to do. Comes from Cincinnati. They've been a lot of great fighters out of Cincinnati. Is Jersey Joe Walcott out of Cincinnati? I think he was. Aaron Pryor.
He wasn't from Jersey?
No, actually, I think
Jersey Joe was not from Jersey.
I gotta have to think about that.
Come on, you're the historian,
One
John.
of those, I thought it was Walcott that was from Cincinnati. No, Ezra Charles. He may have been from Cincinnati. Excuse me.
All right, well.
Excuse me.
Tim Austin, I know, is Cincinnati. Now, good hand speed by Dante Craig, tagging the dome of Georgie Armenta. It's a new look, George Armenta, with the short haircut. Usually George sports the long hair.
Both these fighters have a relatively high knockout percentage.
George Armenta has never been knocked out, however, and Dante Craig has.
Watching Craig, he does not look like the biggest puncher on the block.
Big right hand by George Armenta scores.
And I don't know if he's got enough to keep Armenta off of him, Larry. Armenta's showing him no respect at all. He's walking right towards him, throwing heavy-handed punches. Craig has gotten busier with the jab. I mean, I don't know if he's fighting him right way, though. I want to show a little more movement. He's got to show some more head movement.
Round 2 coming to a close here in the ballroom. George Armenta and Dante Craig. All right, round 3 underway here, and George Armenta and Dante Craig will be delayed as John Gradowski, the referee, asks the corners to mop up.
Was that Juice Gatlin?
Juice Gatlin in the corner of Dante Craig.
Yeah, former aide to Sugar Ray Leonard.
And we're going to try to bring John Scheinman in on this one. John, through 2 rounds, how do you have this one scored?
19-19, all even. Power shots early for George Armenta, but I thought Dante Craig was busy enough to win the 2nd round. I was really looking forward to this match, and I'm glad they squeezed it in tonight. And it's turning out just to be what I expected. George Armenta, always an action fight. People that are sticking around, pretty lucky.
We always like to squeeze good fights in here.
You know, this one is the one you gotta squeeze in. This is a good fight. And Dante Craig has a lot of blood coming from his mouth, John.
Yeah,
that's a result of the onslaught in round 1 by George Armenta. And I don't know if George has punched himself out or looking for a 2nd win.
Well, it doesn't look like it. I mean, he's been very active with both fists in this fight. I tell you what, Craig is right there with him.
It's a very close fight so far. On Scheinman's card, it is even. And it's a pretty close one in round 3 as well. Fight scheduled for 6 rounds tonight here in the ballroom.
Craig is awfully upright. Doesn't move his head very much. Bit of an inviting target.
Oh, low blow that time by Dante Craig. So you saw George Armenta clutch and buckle, and Dante Craig does it again, and George Armenta will have some time here. John Gradowski all over this one.
Now, I think Armenta's a stronger fighter. I would be attacking the body of Dante Craig. I don't think he's a big enough puncher to really bother Armenta power-wise. I think I'd try to break down that body of Craig. Very thin along the midsection.
Nice left hand by Dante Craig.
It's like the only time guys body punch anymore is when they're inside and everybody's holding, and you get kidney shots, which are illegal.
Boy, that's some good work. Good shot by Armenta on the inside, and Dante Craig is hurt. George Armenta has him in trouble. Craig holding on for dear life here in round 3.
Yeah, he should go downstairs, try to get Craig to drop those gloves.
Boy, Craig is in some trouble right now, John.
There's one. Should do it again. Body, body.
Good work by George Armenta here in round 3. Has Dante Craig in a deep hole right now.
Armenta not quite disciplined enough, though, Larry.
Boy, huge left hand by Armenta there. Just whizzes by the whiskers of Craig.
I think Armenta thinks if he just catches him one time, Craig's going to go, but you got to break the guy down, and Craig's legs are wobbly.
Good right hand by Dante Craig, but a good round for George Armenta here in the ballroom. All right, here here we go, round 4 underway. George Armenta and Dante Craig in the ballroom. Larry Michael with Jon Saraceno, also John Scheinman as usual along as well. John, what's your scorecard say?
Well, that was clearly an excellent round for George Armenta. You know, Dante Craig just hasn't made the transition well to the pro game. And you know, a lot of guys who fight for a long time in the amateurs, they just, by the time they turn pro, there's not a lot left. They've taken a lot of punishment. And he shows a little signs of being brittle, Larry. One other thing, if Jersey Joe Walcott is from Cincinnati, Philadelphia Jack O'Brien was from Kentucky.
Well, you're dogging Saraceno, Scheinman. Yeah, you got a lot of gall to do that.
Well, his real name's Arnold Cream, so who knows where he came from. He came from Jersey, right?
Came from the Dairy State.
Was it Ezra Charles, though? Is he from Cincinnati? I think he is.
I don't know, but right now, George Armenta from Silver Spring, Maryland, putting a licking on Dante Craig, who's taking a lot of shots, and down he goes, and George Armenta takes home the victory. El Gallo with the big win in the ballroom. How big a win for George Armenta here against Dante Craig?
Craig doesn't like the fact that they stopped the fight, but you know what? It's hard to argue with. He's shocked that the fight was stopped.
George Armenta, big, huge win for him. He gets the victory here in the ballroom by way of TKO. And you know, Jon Saraceno,
yes, Larry.
George Armenta, in fact, is a guy that I think in time could become a guy that you got to look at because he's got a lot of power. And of course, he's from Silver Spring, Maryland.
Well said.
So George Armenta, the winner of this one. We'll be back with more ballroom boxing in a moment. All right, welcome back to Ballroom Boxing. George Armenta, the winner. Let's make it official with Pat O'Malley.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. The winner by knockout at 105 of round 4, George Armenta.
George Armenta, the winner in the ballroom. A big victory for George, running his record to 10-3. More ballroom boxing coming up in a moment. Welcome back to Ballroom Boxing. All right, the winner is standing by with John Scheinman. John, take it away.
I mean, how were you able to maintain your edge to fight so well against Dante Craig?
Just staying focused and concentrating on what I've been practicing in the gym and just take it step by step.
This guy was an Olympian. I mean, he's had a very strong career. What does this mean to your career?
For my career, I'm just waiting on whatever happens. Take care of my promoter, take care of all that. And which is PJ Augustine right here to my right, and my world trainer, Alan Scott. And we can make things happen. This is 4 knockouts in a row, and there's more to come after this.
Talk a little bit about what Al Scott brings to your camp. He's a well-respected trainer in the game.
He teaches me how to box and relax, stay focused, and I listen to everything he tells me to do in the corner, and because he can see better than I can, you know. They're in the corner, they're my coach. And we were messing up in the gym for a little bit, and he told me one word, and since then, it's been clicking ever since then, so luckily everything worked tonight.
Well, George Armenta, even with the new haircut, has come away victorious. He notches Dante Craig, the former Olympian, with a KO in the 4th round. Let's go back to ringside.
Thank you, John Scheinman. Stay tuned for more Ballroom Boxing. All right, welcome back to Michael's 8th Avenue in Glen Burnie, Maryland. Ballroom Boxing. The main event tonight, Hasim Rahman, the former world heavyweight champ, taking on Al Ice Cold. That fight's coming up in a little bit, but first we have another one in Pat O'Malley to introduce it. Pat?
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. The Maryland State Athletic Commission Chairman David J. Norman, Executive Director Patrick Pinello, and Ballroom Boxing promoters Scott and Michael J. Wagner, matchmaker Chris Middendorf, and Director of Boxing Operations Dave Wilkerson present this 6th-round bout in the junior middleweight division. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time now for more Ballroom Boxing. Your referee in charge of the 6th-round bout is Bill Holmes. The scorekeeper is Gary Campaneschi. The timekeeper is Tommy Canaris. The judges at ringside, John Gradowski, Don Risher, and Malik Waleed. Introducing the boxers. First, to my right, out of the blue corner, wearing the purple and white trunks. He weighed in at 152 1/4 pounds. He hails from Gulfport, Mississippi. His record, 10-2, 7 via the KO. Please welcome Willie Lee. To my left, out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks with the white-red stripes. He weighed in at 152 3/4 pounds from Baltimore, Maryland. His record, 8-0-1, 5 by the knockout. Please welcome the Arsenal, Ishmael Arvin.
Ishmael Arvin, no stranger to the ballroom.
Referee Bill Holmes with the instructions.
Slick Willie Lee.
Jon, your instructions room yourself at all times. Obey my commands. Touch him up.
All right, let's take a look at a matchup here of these junior middleweights, John.
Well, the numbers really speak for themselves. You see how even they are. Arvin, the older fighter, that should really not come into play big time in this fight. 6-round junior middleweight bout.
And the rules, the 10-point must system is in effect. No 3 knockdown rule. You cannot be saved by the bell in any round, and there is no standing 8 count. This one is underway, scheduled for 6 rounds tonight, and Slick Willie Lee coming out quick. Maybe the quickest opponent that Arvin has ever faced. And Ishmael Arvin comes in with the pedigree, great amateur career, and really has some high hopes in the junior middleweight division.
He is a talented fighter, and on paper, this portends to be a very interesting matchup.
Arvin has the 5 knockouts to his credit, but he hasn't had one since 2002 in November. His last 3 wins have been by decision.
Lee coming out very quickly in his first round, fighting in Arvin's backyard. He knows he's got to take every opportunity he can to try to pile up points.
Both men had good long amateur careers. Last time out for Ishmael Arvin, it's right here in the ballroom. In fact, 5 of his last 6 fights have been here in the ballroom. Eloy Suarez was his opponent. It was a majority decision win, and Arvin finished that fight, if I recall correctly, very fatigued, John. He just got through the fight.
He was very exhausted in that fight, and I tell you what, the pace that Slick Willie Lee is making him fight at, that could come into play tonight, too.
Well, there's some blood on the glove of Slick Willie Lee, and I don't know where it's coming from.
Lee's complaining that Arvin banged heads.
There is a cut on the hairline of Ishmael Arvin. I think it's high on his left forehead, on the left side of his forehead, and he is bleeding. I don't know if that came from a clash of heads, might have. And the southpaw conventional stances are causing the fighters to step on each other's feet.
Actually, it looks like Lee may have a cut along his left eyebrow. Check that out, Larry. Can you...
Hard to tell. I think there could be a cut. Oh, big combination by Lee scores. And there is a cut. No, it is on the side, on the temple of Arvin's head, on the left side of his head.
Well, they are really going at it here in the first round, folks. No warming up in the bullpen.
And there might be a cut. Oh, big 2-punch combination by Slick Willie Lee. The uppercut followed with the straight shot. And Arvin in a little bit of trouble here in round 1.
Tell you what, Lee doesn't look like a big puncher, but he's a sharpshooter.
You're right, no warm-up, no feeling out process in this one. And there is a cut.
I think Lee is cut, Larry, along his left eye.
Above the left eye, a cut, and it's swollen up as well. Arvin battered as well. An action-packed round 1 here in this scheduled 6th rounder. Cut from an accidental headbutt, as the referee has called it. Slick Willie Lee in a little trouble. Let's look back at what happened in round 1.
Well, Lee complained there was a clash of heads. Let's see if we can see it. Not there. Fighters in close quarters for much of that first round, as Lee really took it to Arvin. Later in that first round, good combination by Lee, jolting Arvin. And to finish it up, the uppercut on the inside, followed by the right hand by Lee. Big first round for Slick Willie Lee.
Lee's 69 punches thrown, 30% landed in round 1 on the CompuBox stats in an action-packed first round. Again, this fight only scheduled for 6 rounds. There are the numbers: 30% connect rate for Willie Lee, and Ishmael Arvin connecting on 27%. Oh, a big right hand rocks Lee back.
And Lee had just nailed Arvin with a straight left.
And that is a nasty cut on the eyelid, the left eyelid of Slick Willie.
And not a good spot, Larry.
No.
Sometimes you get a cut that's in a different location where the blood can't trickle into the eye. Fighter's not impaired by it at all. We'll have to see how that plays out. But right now, these two guys are really going at it.
Lee getting the worst of that exchange. And now is Arvin up against the ropes. I mean, neither man taking a step back in this one.
Well, they said that Willie Lee was a crafty southpaw. I didn't expect him to be this aggressive. And I don't think Arvin did either.
Nice uppercut by Willie Lee with the right hand, rocks the head back of Arvin.
Now, he did that in the first round, too. When Arvin moves inside, Lee drops his shoulders and shoots the uppercut. Ishmael Arvin, undefeated 9 pro fights with 1 draw. That record is in peril right now.
Nice straight right hand by Arvin.
I mean, Ishmael Arvin's considered one of the bright lights.
That right hand just rocked the dome of Lee. And he's in a little bit of trouble here with a minute to go in round 2. I think Arvin senses it.
And Lee, instead of winging wild punches, should just be holding on for the rest of the round. But he's trading, Larry. Very dangerous move by Slick Willie Lee, as he is not on steady legs right now.
Well, that eye is in bad shape as well. Straight right hand by Lee.
He's going to run into something. Fighting very carelessly here in the second round.
We had heard that the movement of Lee was his strength, and he really hasn't done much moving. Good body shot by Arvin with the left hand.
Tell you what, when Lee misses with the left hand, he's wide open for a right counter.
You are correct. A lot of blood pouring from the left eye of Lee as round 2 comes to a close.
Get a bucket right there. Stepping over with the jab. Let's step over, son. And fade him with the jab and throw the right hand, step over. And when you get inside, both sides to the body, step back over. And you go that down. Stay down to the body.
There's a corner of Ishmael Arvin. Very optimistic corner, I might say, after what happened in round 2, John.
Well, I tell you what, Lee was really nailing him, and in that right hand by Arvin, right on the kisser, jolted Lee. There you see it, right down to pipe, he threw it. And they couldn't have thrown a picture textbook right hand any better than that.
So 2 exciting rounds in the books. Jon Scheinman, who is winning this fight on your scorecard?
Larry, I'm glad they have the sandbags up. This is a good one. 19-19. First round, Slick Willie Lee. And the next round, obviously, to Arvin. His power really shone through, but this guy is constantly in a war.
All right, CompuBox stats. There is Scheinman's scorecard. Way in favor of Ishmael Arvin. In fact, 53 of his punches landed were power shots. 47% landed, 30 of 64 in round 2. So Arvin taking the play away from Lee in the second round.
For those of you not familiar with the Ballroom Boxing Series, these are the kind of fights we're accustomed to. I mean, who is going to be the last man left standing in this? We're only in the third round.
Fight is scheduled for 6. Big left hand that time by Lee, smothered somewhat by Ishmael Arvin. You got to give Lee some credit, John, because after that second round, he's had an amazing comeback here in round 3.
You got to give him a lot of credit. He's fighting in the other guy's backyard. He's been the aggressor. He has shocked Arvin. He's fighting with that nasty cut along his right eye.
Nice left-hand counter shot by Slick Willie.
Actually, it's his left eye. But either way, it hurts.
Big right hand by Arvin, and Lee is hurt. Somehow he did not go down. I thought for sure he was going to go down after that right hand.
He was really staggered, and Lee is getting careless. After he punches, he drops his gloves. He forgets to bring his gloves back.
He's about to go. Bill Holmes, the referee, with an eye on this. And still a minute to go in this round.
Well, I tell you what, Arvin would love to finish him right here, Larry, and it matters.
Big right hand by Ishmael. Arvin again, the ropes holding Lee up. And he is about to go.
And this is the time to get him. You don't want this guy hanging around for rounds 4, 5, and 6.
Still 40 seconds to go as Lee weathered the storm.
Arvin trying to keep that unbeaten record perfect with that one draw in 9 fights.
Good body shot by Arvin.
Oh, what a right hand right there, Larry.
The towel from the corner of Slick Willie Lee, and the corner of Lee asks the referee to stop the fight.
What a game performance by Willie Lee. Tell you what, he fought his heart out. Nothing to be ashamed of, and a good stoppage by his corner. They knew he'd had enough.
Ishmael Arvin victorious here tonight in the ballroom. We'll be back after a short timeout. Welcome back to Ballroom Boxing. There is Slick Willie Lee. He gave it all he had. And that cut notwithstanding, Arvin, the stronger man tonight, John.
And a big finish in the 3rd round, according to CompuBox. Arvin outlanded Willie Lee 21 punches to 9. There you see the winner, Ishmael Arvin. Very impressive performance, considering he had moments of doubt in that fight, Larry. He got rocked a couple of times. Lee got right in his grill, and he rallied.
Starting early in that 3rd and final round, Ishmael Arvin tagged Slick Willie Lee, and Lee hung on for a long while. He almost made it through the round.
Well, he was game, maybe a little bit too game and a little too careless, not on his P's and Q's defensively. And we're going to see the end of the fight now when you see Arvin throwing a whistling right hand, followed with the left hook on the inside. You see the white towel from Lee's corner, signaling surrender. One more look. Arvin with Lee pinned up against the ropes. Referee Bill Holmes calls a halt to the action. Good move by all concerned.
So the official time standing by with Pat O'Malley. Let's take a look at the CompuBox stats first. 39% connect rate. It was the stronger man prevailing, Ishmael Arvin, to remain unbeaten. Pat O'Malley with the time of the TKO.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. The winner by TKO at 240 of round 3, the Arsenal, Ishmael Arvin.
Ishmael Arvin is the winner, and he continues on the unbeaten path. A strong performance with the TKO win in round 3 over Slick Willie Lee, and Ishmael Arvin the winner. Getting into position, let's head up to Jon Scheinman, see what Ishmael Arvin has to say about this one. John?
Ishmael, the fight started off as a classic Ishmael Arvin fight, very tough and physical, but you took over in the 2nd round. Tell about the power shots.
I was trying to go to his body. He seemed like he was wearing down. I caught him with a couple good right hands. I hurt him, so he was a tough guy. I knew he was going to come at me strong, so I mean, that's what I like, though.
But his reputation was as a bit of a mover, and he came forward right at you.
Right. His name is Slick, but the tapes I saw, he didn't look slick. He looked like a tough guy. That's what I was coming in as. He was a tough guy.
Last time we had you in the ballroom, very, very tough fight against Eloy Suarez, and we had talked about how you were looking to improve your defense and, and getting out of the way. Do you feel like you improved here with this fight?
A little bit. If it would have went into later rounds, I think I would have showed more of my boxing skills. Coming from round 1, man, working with the guys in the gym, they helped me out with that, man.
9-0 now. What's up in the future?
Man, talk to my manager right there. I mean, bigger and better things.
Ishmael Arvin stays undefeated. Spectacular victory here in the ballroom. They throw in the towel. Let's go back to ringside to Larry and John.
Well, Baltimore has one winner tonight in Ishmael Arvin, and still to come, Baltimore's finest, Hasim Rahman, in the main event, taking on Al Ice Cole, as Rahman looking to get back into the win column. Does not win since his loss to Lennox Lewis.
Al Ice Cole preparing to take on Hasim Rahman, the former heavyweight champion of the world. Cole, the challenger, coming in a month shy of the age of 40, getting ready to fight in his 50th heavyweight fight. At one time was the cruiserweight champion, but now having stepped up, getting ready to take on a determined Hasim Rahman.
You knock your opponent down. You need to get to the neutral corner as quick as you can.
And welcome back, everybody. And when you think about Hasim Rahman, as I said, very determined coming in. When you think about it, he has struggled ever since he won that title. He knocked off Lennox Lewis, then came back and would lose to Lennox Lewis. And since then, it has not been all good for him. In fact, to take a little more in-depth look at Hasim Rahman as he prepares for Al Ice Cole, let's take a look at this feature.
And I felt like the first punch I hit him with was left hook and shook him. And I was so cocky and feel like, well, you know, I'm gonna knock him out whenever I feel like it, you know. It's gonna be over whenever I want it to be over, and forgot that this guy one of the best punchers in the division.
The memory of November 17, 2001, Lennox Lewis recaptured the title from Hasim Rahman just 7 months after losing it to him, is still fresh in The Rock's mind. And it's begun a string of bad luck and has seen the former champ lose twice with a draw sandwiched in between.
There has to be a sense of urgency this time in terms of gaining victories that hasn't been there before. Is that right or wrong?
That's absolutely right. You hit the nail on the head. And not only victories, impressive victories. You know, I can't just go out and win decisions. And I can't, you know, just be this boxer who just relies on his jab. It's time to fight and make a big statement.
Rahman is still clearly in the heavyweight championship picture. Ranked 5th in the WBA, 9th in the IBF and WBO. And the title is very much up for grabs.
Most of the guys in the heavyweight division today, because of Lennox retiring, are becoming very active. They have other fights scheduled. So he's going to move up to a title fight very soon.
I think the three guys that's ranked ahead of me all agree getting world title fights. So that's going to speed up my opportunity. That means I have less time to wait. So I'm capitalizing on my idle time right now, try to stay sharp.
As Hasim Rahman tries to recapture that title, the plan has changed somewhat. It involves fighting locally as well as a lot more regularly.
I'm trying to fight like 2 or 3 times, maybe every 30 days, maybe, you know, and until I can get to this title fight. I can just wait for a mandatory, but, you know, I think that's been part of my problem, just sitting around waiting for just a big super fight. And I think what I need is to go back to what got me to championship status in the first place. So now, you know, I don't have to reinvent the wheel. I just got to follow the game plan that got me there.
First stop, Glen Burnie, Maryland, where Hasim headlines another edition of Ballroom Boxing, facing 39-year-old Al Ice Cole, a former cruiserweight champ.
Everybody knows I'm still a former world champ. I'm a very tough opponent. You can't sleep on me. And they know I'm tough. And Rahman feel like I'm a tough fight. I'm a good fight. But he figured he gonna beat me. And that's the problem.
He's got a good enough name, enough experience, enough ring savvy to really test to see where I am, you know. If Al can go 10 rounds with me, then that's a victory for Al, you know, and it's a defeat for me, a major setback.
Again, Hasim Rahman as he prepares for Al Ice Cole. You can see that I was with him earlier this week. Extremely determined, has worked very hard, realizes that that is the way that he will stay sharp and keep himself in position so that when that opportunity comes up for him to go for that heavyweight title, he will be ready to go.
Great to be back in the ballroom. It's almost a must-win situation for Hasim Rahman here tonight.
It's not almost, Larry, it is. Hasim Rahman has really stubbed his toes to the point where he's running out of feet. He can't afford to stub his toe anymore. Al Cole's a veteran fighter that he should be able to get out of there. Against Lennox Lewis in the rematch, after Rahman had won the title, Lewis drilled him in the 4th round. Against Evander Holyfield, 3-time heavyweight champion, Rahman was competitive in that fight, but had a difficult time dealing with Holyfield's style on the inside. Eventually, that led to a series of headbutts, ruled accidental. Rahman had a hematoma, the fight was stopped, and he lost. Now moving on to the fight against, who is that? John Ruiz. Yeah, that was his last fight in December. David Tua was a draw. And we're going to look at the heavyweight division now, Larry, where we are, and some of the fighters who are vying for the title. Tua, Klitschko, and we've got other fighters in the mix too. Andrew Galata, Mike Tyson still out there.
There is Al Ice Cole, who was very confident in the press conference a couple days ago. He is here to win. He is not here to lose in Hasim Rahman's backyard. Cole, a former cruiserweight champion back in 1995. As a heavyweight, he has a losing record, and thus Hasim Rahman is the big favorite tonight in the ballroom here at Michael's 8th Avenue. Rahman needs a win. He does not have a win on his record since his victory over Lennox Lewis for the World Heavyweight Championship. So, big night tonight for Hasim Rahman, and Al Cole wants to upset Rahman right here in his own backyard, John.
Well, Al Cole is a tailor-made opponent right now. He's a journeyman. He's a former cruiserweight champion. His best days are way behind him. I don't know if he has the legs to withstand Rahman's punishment. If Rahman uses the jab and is smart and doesn't get wild, he should stop Al Cole tonight.
All right, there he is, Hasim Rahman making his way through the crowd here at Michael's 8th Avenue. Al Cole is already in the ring. Larry Michael and Jon Saraceno ringside with my former broadcast partner, Shannon Briggs. And Shannon, congratulations on your most recent knockout victory. I'm going to ask you about your future in a minute, but what do you think about this fight tonight, Cole and Rahman?
This is a great fight. I'm looking forward to it. I've actually been sparring with Cole for the last 3 weeks, but I'm still biased, you know what I'm saying? I'm a friend of Hasim. I think it's a great fight. I think it's a great fight for both guys. It's a crossroad fight for both guys.
What kind of fight are we going to see? Rahman wants to take Cole out. I would think Cole wants to last rounds with Hasim. What are your thoughts?
Well, I know Cole's he's a veteran. I don't know if that's too wise on Rahman's, part. This guy's been around a long time, former cruiserweight champion in the world. This is a great fight. I think Cole's prepared.
Wouldn't it be smarter to go right when you have an older fighter with legs that are questionable? Don't you go right after him, Shannon?
This is true. This is true, Larry. But at the same time, John, excuse me. But at the same time, this guy, he knows this is his last shot, so he's gonna, use the best of it.
Hasim Rahman, who comes back home here trying to get back in the win column. He has lost 3 of his last 4. He had a draw, has not won since his knockout of Lennox Lewis for the heavyweight championship. And Hasim Rahman used to come here, Shannon, as a boxing fan. When we did the fights back in the late 90s, before he won the title, he would come and enjoy the fights in this great venue.
Yeah, I understand that. I heard he's from the neighborhood. He's a Baltimore kid, so this is great. He has a huge crowd here tonight. I'm looking forward. This is going to be I'm sure he's pumped. This is going to be a great fight.
Al Cole comes into this fight with a losing record as a heavyweight, and I don't know if that necessarily tells you the story. 7-11-3 with 3 knockouts as a heavyweight. Cole has been in against some real tough guys, Shannon.
This guy's been in with the best. I mean, up and coming. He's like the gatekeeper. If you want to get into the heavyweight division, this is the guy you got to go through. So, this is a great fight. This is a great comeback fight for Rock.
Al Cole, the former cruiserweight champion back in 1995, in fact, and there you saw the breakdown on his record. So we are set for this one. We've waited so long for this matchup. Hasim Rahman and Al Ice Cole. Rahman trying to get back in the win column tonight at Michael's 8th Avenue. We'll be back with Pat O'Malley and the introduction of the fighters in a moment.
It's time for the main event in the ballroom. The Maryland State Athletic Commission Chairman David J. Norman, Executive Director Patrick Pinella, the commissioners at ringside, William Bill McCaffrey, Phil Feaster, and Raymond C. Dow Jr. The Secretary of Maryland Department of Labor Licensing and Regulation is Dr. James D. Fielder Jr. Ballroom Boxing Promoters, Scott and Michael J. Wagner. The matchmaker is Chris Middendorf. The Director of Boxing Operations, Dave Wilkerson. Together they present this 10-round bout in the heavyweight division. The physicians at ringside tonight are Dr. Edmund J. McDonald Jr., Dr. Douglas Frankel, and Dr. Stephen F. Manikin, the chief physician and neurologist. The State Commission Legal Counsel is Bruce C. Spiesler. Your timekeeper is Tommy Canaris. The scorekeeper is Gary Campaneschi. And the man in charge when this 10-round bout commences is Malik Waleed. If a decision is necessary, it will be rendered by our judges at ringside, John Gradowski, Bill Holmes, and Don Risher. It is time now to meet the combatants for this 10-round heavyweight ballroom brawl. First of all, to my left, out of the red corner, he's wearing the blue trunks with white stripes. He weighed in at 237.5 pounds. He comes to us from Spring Valley, New York, with a record of 34, 12, and 3, 16 via the KO. He captured the IBF Cruiserweight title in July of 1992 with a unanimous decision over James Waring and defended his crown successfully 5 times before moving up to the heavyweight division. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former Cruiserweight champion of the world, Al Ice Cole. To my right, fighting out of the blue corner, he's wearing the black trunks. He weighed in at 255.25 pounds. He hails from Baltimore, Maryland. His record, 35, 5-1, 29 knockouts. He's a former Maryland State heavyweight champion, currently ranked number 5 in the world. He won 11 of his first 12 fights as a pro by KO. He first won the United States Boxing Association heavyweight title in 1997 with a KO of Jeff Wooden in round 9. Then, as a 15-1 underdog, he KO'd Lennox Lewis to become the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, the former heavyweight champion of the world on a mission to regain his crown and once again rock the world, Hasim the Rock Rahman!
There's certainly a home court advantage for Hasim Rahman here tonight.
Definitely.
Referee Malik Waleed, very strong, good referee. Rahman and Cole for the instructions.
Okay, fellas, listen up. You both have been given the rules in the dressing room. I expect good, clean boxing. When I say break, you both ought to stop punching, take a full step back, and remember, protect yourselves at all times. Touch them up, fellas. Good luck to you both.
This is a great matchup, man.
There's a touch-up. Let's look at the matchup with Jon Saraceno.
Well, you see how big these guys are. Al Cole never really made a successful transition to the heavyweight division. The key number there is age. Al Cole, like a set of bald tires, doesn't have much left on the tread.
They're cold, John. Let's take a look at the rules. Here in Maryland, 10-point system, no 3 knockdown rule. Cannot be saved by the bell, no standing 8 count. What is you have a quick prediction, Shannon Briggs?
I'm going to go with Al. I think Al's ready. I think he's in great shape.
All right, we are underway. The corner of Cole late getting out, and it is Rahman and Cole. As you look at him, Shannon, do you look at the body types, and can you tell anything on the conditioning front?
Well, I heard it. Hasim came in a little heavy, and as we know, well, it's powerful jab. He has had a problem with his weight, but you know, he looks serious.
He does look serious, and he is built strong. I mean, he is broad across the back, and he can drop that right-hand bomb on you anytime.
That we know.
I tell you what, in a rematch with Lennox Lewis, he buckled Lewis's legs in the first round with a jab.
Really?
Of course, was stopped later in that fight.
But there's blood already from the nose of Al Cole 40 seconds into this fight, and I guarantee you it came from the jab, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. I mean, I picked him to win against Lewis in the first fight, and again, there's that jab. Very powerful.
You just hear the sound of those punches. You can feel the power here at ringside.
But Rahman not in the kind of condition he was when he won the heavyweight championship back in 4 years ago.
Rahman's trying to set him up right now. Jab into the body and right hand to the body.
Good body shots there by Hasim Rahman in the black trunks. Al Cole in the blue trunks with the white trim. Blood from the nose of Al Cole here already in round 1.
Al Cole has shown as a heavyweight to be a durable fighter who will take a lot of punishment in the ring and wait for his moment. He's primarily a boxer.
Just landed a good left hook in the face of it.
Rahman very calm in the ring. You can see just a real calm look on his face. Not a lot of tension there.
He's picking to that body. He wants Cole to drop his hand so he can come over top with that strong right hand.
Does Cole have the punch to hurt Rahman?
He has a sneaky right hand, a very sneaky right hand.
Kind of like what we thought we would see in the first round. Rahman pursuing Cole, and Cole just trying to get a feel for the fight. Cole trying to establish a jab of his own,
which would be very smart.
Well, he's fighting him the right way, isn't he?
Right now he is, definitely is.
Big right hand on the inside, and Cole is hurt. Cole is hurt on that right hand by Rahman.
His legs were already wobbly, Larry.
Just 18 seconds left to go in round 1. The right hand from Rahman rocked Al Cole in round 1. Good body shot by Rahman. As round 1 comes to a close, Rahman with a power punch in the first.
Now you're going 2 pieces. Very good.
There's Hasim Rahman, round 1 in the books. Very happy corner. Here's the action from round 1.
Well, Cole was fighting a pretty good round till he got clipped with that right hand, and you saw his legs heading east and west at the same time.
A nice short overhand right. Bop, right there.
Yep. Near the end of the round, right hand on the chin by Rahman. Cole trying to get out of harm's way.
Yeah.
So Rahman has already found a home for that right hand.
Well, Rahman got that radar in the first 3 minutes, Larry. I think he's going to look to lower the boom here in the second round if he can. Cole's got to keep that jab going and keep showing Rahman some angles.
Definitely. Rahman began by jabbing to the body and a hard right hand to the body, and that set up that overhand right.
There you see the stats on the CompuBox, big time in favor of Hasim Rahman. And a real strong round 1. It's a stiff jab by Rahman, finds the mark.
Powerful jab.
He may have the most powerful jab in the heavyweight division.
He reminds me a lot of Sonny Liston. There's a lot of Sonny Liston with that jab.
You're right. Same body type, too.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Good comparison.
I mean, now Cole walked into that jab. Cole beginning to bring it a little bit to Rahman. Rahman pounding away on the inside.
Cole's very durable. He's going to be right there, banging with him, which may not be the smartest thing, but hey, he will bang.
A lot of hitting, clutching, grabbing, holding, and hitting. Wally, the referee, preferring to let the fighters fight out of these clinches, which is usually the best thing to do.
Boy, ripping body shot by Rahman with the right hand.
I like what Cole's doing right now. He's real busy on the inside. He's just poking. I like that.
Rahman is a little plotty. I mean, that extra weight, he's not doing himself any good.
And that's Cole for you, a real workman-like fighter, always been. Guy who doesn't always look impressive, but he stays busy, and he just keeps poking.
Well, no question, Shane, he knows how to box.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, he was a very talented amateur boxer, and he was a very good cruiserweight.
Right.
He only lost once at cruiserweight.
Exactly. Very durable. He needs to be careful backing up to those ropes, though, because Rahman's looking to lower the bomb on him.
He's beginning to find a little bit of a rhythm, though, Al Cole is right now.
Yes, he is. He's a late starter. He warms up late, but I like what he's doing right now. Just poking away, staying busy. Those little things will bother a man later on in the fight, especially a heavyweight.
He's trying to time Rahman and counter him. And Rahman's jab has slowed down here in round 2.
This is how you fight Hasim Rahman. You jab him, you move, you grab him when you need to on the inside.
Exactly.
And you make him work.
John knows his boxing.
I'll send the check to your house.
There you go, there you go.
Rocco looking right in the eyes of Hasim Rahman.
Rahman hit him with a little short right hand when Cole came in. Cole's dropping his left a little bit. He's got to be on his P's and Q's defensively,
Definitely.
right,
I
Shannon?
think he's doing something really smart though right now. Staying close to Rahman, not giving him room. Exactly.
Good comeback round for Al Cole.
Definitely.
Here in round 2, turning the tide on the favorite Hasim Rahman.
Okay, now let's get his little monkey ass. Okay, he can't fight you on that side.
Corner of Al Cole feeling confident right now after a strong round 2. Let's look back at action from that round.
That was a good round for Al Cole. Well, right there, that wasn't the best part of the round for him.
But although he did sneak a right hand down the pipe on Rahman, so we'll see. Al's not the biggest puncher, but like I said, he'll keep poking. So.
And there it is, Shannon.
Yeah, man.
Rahman's corner wanting him to stay off the ropes.
Yeah, I heard that. Nice jab.
Let's check the Jon Scheinman scorecard through 2 rounds. John.
Larry, 19-19. First round, Rahman. Second round, Cole. I thought Rahman threw more right hands in the first round than he did the entire fight against Ruiz. And then inexplicably went to the ropes and allowed Cole to to establish command. I think it was bad tactics by Rahman in the second round. He should go back to the jab.
Telling CompuBox stat in round 2, Rahman threw just 10 jabs. He averaged 47 jabs a round against David Tua.
Which were great fights every time out, man. This guy is so powerful. He's such a strong kid. Look at him. Like I said, he reminds me so much of Sonny Liston.
He really does. Tell you what, if I was training him, I think I'd tell him to put that right hand in his back pocket. Just concentrate on the jab the first 2-3 rounds.
Yeah.
And then when Cole doesn't expect it, drop the bomb on him.
Drop the bomb, exactly.
But you know what? When you haven't been successful in recent fights, you get a little bit of an air of desperation. You want to get things over quickly. You don't want the fight to go on.
That's the truth.
Again, Rahman up against the ropes. That's not where he wants to be.
And Cole steadily poking away, which is what he needs to do.
He's building up points.
Exactly.
Good body shot by Rahman. When he scores with that left hook to the body, you can see Cole just buckle in. There's that jab again from Rahman.
And that overhand right.
Al Cole coming right back.
Al Cole's a little too brave, Larry.
Sheesh.
Rahman scored with the right hand on the inside, but once again, he's up against the ropes.
Now, he's fighting Rahman's fight right now, and that could lead to big trouble for Al Cole. You don't want to trade with Rahman.
Nah, I think you should go back to being close.
There's that right hand again. Al Cole's in some trouble right now as Rahman pounding away with that right.
Hey, Al Cole's in more trouble than you realize, too. He does not have the steadiest of legs at age 39.
No, but he's so rough. Look at him inside. He just wrestles with you and pushes you.
He's a tough guy, no doubt about that.
He's a good guy. And you know he had a great career, and I think if this is his last fight, he doesn't win. He's a great fighter. He's great for the sport. A very pleasant guy, you know?
Really is. Again, Rahman finds himself up against the ropes. Here is round 3 is winding down. The right hand by Cole scored right over the left of Rahman.
Rahman's a beast. Look how strong the kid is. Look at his legs, man.
He's built like a linebacker.
I'm serious.
He's built like a nose tackle.
I think it's really hard for a guy like himself to get in shape.
Double jab.
Oh, it's a powerful jab.
That was Liston-like.
Yeah.
Closing moments of the third round, and again, blood coming from the nose of Al Cole. Rahman scoring with the jab in round 3 and turning the tide back in his favor.
And Rahman, he does have a piston-like jab. We're not seeing it there. The clubbing right hands by Rahman on the inside, hurting Al Cole. And Cole starting to take a lot of punishment. There's that power jab. He doubled up on that last round, too.
Great shot. In fact, Cole, through 3 rounds, Cole has thrown more jabs than Rahman, shockingly, but he's only landed 13%. Rahman has landed 50% of his jabs. So round 4 is underway.
This is a great fight for Rahman, great fight for Cole. And you know, if Rocky's not careful, you know, Cole can sneak up on him, man.
This is a perfect fight for Rahman.
Exactly. And I don't know if Rockman's in the best shape. He looked like he's a little winded, looks a little frustrated because I think he wanted the first-round KO. So this is a great fight for him.
See, I think if he would just break him down with a jab, Shannon, that knockout would just come.
Well, we can definitely see he has a very, very powerful jab. It will set up a vicious right hand, which he's a vicious right-hand puncher. But, you know, like I said,
he's a little anxious.
Exactly. Yeah. I think he came into looking for a first-round KO.
Yeah. And he wants to be spectacular in front of his hometown crowd.
Exactly.
Al Cole trying that jab out, working nicely on the inside. His corner told him, you're losing the battles on the scorecards on the inside. You need to do something dramatic.
Well, see, the other thing, Larry, is that Cole doesn't really have enough of a punch to really distract Rahman. It's almost like a fly buzzing around his head or a mosquito. It doesn't really bother him.
Exactly. I was just thinking the same thing, John. You know, Cole just doesn't have the power to hurt Rahman and get the respect that he needs. But he can bother and be a pest.
Of course, the question is, if this goes to the later rounds, what kind of condition is Rahman in carrying those extra pounds?
Exactly.
Straight right off the glove.
See, if Cole had the legs at 39 to box and move this way for the entire round, he might be able to steal a decision.
You know what? I believe that, John. I was just thinking that. I said, you know, if it was me, myself, personally in there, I'd give him some movement, go side to side, hit it, use the jab, and set him up.
The Al Cole of 5 years ago, 7, 8 years ago, would have given Rahman the fits tonight, and right now he's giving him a pretty good tussle.
I believe that. I feel the same way, John. I think a guy will box Rahman, give him some movement side to side, it'd be a better fight, and you have a bigger chance of winning.
Right hand on the inside, scores by Rahman. There might be a cut above the little slight nick above the left eye of Al Cole. Good body shot by Rahman. And those are clubbing punches on the inside. And Al Cole's legs began to buckle just a bit there against the ropes.
Yeah, Rahman wants to try something here. He wants to try to get him out if he can.
Yeah. He's really beating up that body and clubbing him with the overhand rights.
He's trying to get Cole to drop those arms.
Exactly. I seen in the first round, John, he was even hitting the shoulder. So.
A lot of times fight fans don't see those little tricks with fighters like you know about.
Forget about it.
Rahman up against the ropes again. Al Cole. Nice left hand by Al Cole. Moving back, round 4 in the books. Alrighty, welcome back to Michael's 8th Avenue in Glen Burnie, Maryland. Ballroom boxing on Comcast Sportsnet. Larry Michael with Jon Saraceno and Shannon Briggs. John Scheinman with the scorecard through 4 rounds. John?
Larry, all even, 38-38 on my unofficial card. I thought that was a superb round for Al Cole. He had Rahman where he wanted him. He moved him around the ring. He banged the body, and he took a few short hard shots inside, but that was it. I just thought it was a good 3 minutes for Cole. He really righted his ship in that round.
It's a low blow by Rahman. The ref didn't see it, though. I like what Cole's doing, though. Give him side-to-side movement. I think he's bothering the Rock right now.
Yeah, it's the first movement from Cole all night. And Rahman's going to have to do some chasing right now.
And he can't even catch him. And they, like we said, those are 39-year-old legs. So, oh, man, 3 nice jabs. Nice jabs by Cole.
Good strategy for Cole right now to change it a little bit.
Definitely. I mean, give him some movement, show him another look, you know, and then go back to poking on the inside when you need to.
So Rahman trying to deal with the side-to-side movement of Al Cole here in round 5. This fight is scheduled for 10 rounds, and I guess the question has to be asked is, can Al Cole win a decision in this building?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
That's a good question. Why are you looking at me?
I was looking at him.
I can't answer that one, guys.
I think he could, but I don't think it's going to end that way. I don't think it's going to go to a decision. It may.
Yeah.
It may.
Shannon, let's quickly talk about you. You're coming off a first-round knockout win. Do you want to get back in that heavyweight title picture?
Oh, I'm looking forward to it, man. Great combination by The Rock. I'm looking forward to it, man. I've been busy. Like I said, I've been training with Al. I've been sparring with a lot of different guys. I just fought Saturday. I'm fighting again in 2 weeks in Japan, so I'm looking forward to it.
Heavyweights are never finished, are they? Even when they get older.
No way. I'm just a baby, they tell me, so.
How old are you now, Shannon?
I'm 31, man.
You are a baby.
Yeah, so.
Is that all you are?
That's 31? It, man. I'm 31.
Do you have a manager?
There you go. You remember me from as a kid, right?
Yeah.
Forget about it.
Over in Cuba.
I'm serious. I was like 17 years old.
You're a baby.
I'm telling you.
Man, you're making me feel old, man. You're going to have to get out of this
And
seat.
you look the same, man. You look actually younger than. Give me some of that.
You're a good guy, Shannon.
Thank you, thank you.
Next fight, I'm picking you to win.
Thank you, sir.
Especially if you have a rematch with Foreman.
Oh, man. They called me, too. Who knows?
Well, Hasim Rahman, it's possible his lack of diligent training could bite him, Larry.
It's a tough round to call right here. And again, we are in the backyard of Hasim Rahman. So round 5 coming to a close. We've reached the midway point of this 10-rounder here in the ballroom at Michael's 8th Avenue. Rahman and Cole, 5 more rounds to go.
K on the outside. You stand outside and jam your brains out.
Welcome back to Michael's 8th Avenue in Glen Burnie, Maryland. Midway through the Hasim Rahman Al Cole fight. Larry Michael, Jon Saraceno, and Shannon Briggs ringside here. And Shannon, you know, a good strategy for Al Cole so far. He's surviving with 5 rounds to go.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think the last round was his best round. He showed a jab. He gave Rahman some movement, and that was great, man. He keeps that up, and we could have a real tough fight on our hands.
It's a tight one. Round 6 underway here in the ballroom. And Al Cole, at 39 years of age, says he trained properly for this fight, and I think it's showing here. He trained with Shannon Briggs, in fact.
Well, Al had a series of setbacks in his personal life. He had several people close to him die the last few years. And that's not an excuse by Al Cole, but his mind was not focused on boxing. He stopped watching tape. He stopped training regularly. He really got away from what made him one of the best cruiserweights in the world, and really became a stepping stone. And that's what Rahman thought he had in here tonight.
Is that a cut on Rahman's eye?
It is a slice on his right cheek.
Okay.
Looks like
I don't
a
know.
little bit.
It might have been the blood from Cole. It's hard to tell from right here because there's blood coming from Al Cole.
Okay, no, right.
No, you're right. It was from Al.
CompuBox stats, as we saw moments ago, again in favor of Hasim Rahman in terms of connect percentage. And Cole now retreating somewhat, using that side-to-side movement.
I like that.
But he's moving backwards, Shannon. He cannot win this fight in this venue moving backwards. That's what I think.
Well, you're right, but at the same time, he's scoring points, and I'm impressed. I mean, I like the movement. Those are 39-year-old legs, like John said, and look at that.
He's fighting the right style.
Exactly.
But he's got to remember to punch, hold when prudent, and try to tire Rahman out.
Right.
Rahman is not in peak physical condition. We can all see that.
Right.
It says 10 rounds, though, not 12 rounds.
Right. Rahman came looking for that first round KO. Is not there, and he has to dig right now. He has to work. Nice body shot. Nice body shot.
Rahman took out Corey Sanders in the 7th round. He also won by 5th round knockout over Michael Rush recently, a TKO in 7 over Frankie Swindell. And Al Cole in that same kind of category.
Yeah, right now, Rahman's probably wondering, why didn't I do more road work? Why wasn't I in the gym a little bit more?
Nice body shot.
Al Cole beating Rahman with a punch that time.
I mean, he knew that Al Cole had this kind of potential to give him the fits. He just thought with Al Cole's legs at this stage in his career, he could get him out early, right?
Exactly. I mean, rumor was that he was looking for a first-round KO, and I believe it now. But he's a champion. He's digging deep. He knows, listen, if I want to get back into the mix, I'm going to have to work. And this is a fight. He's in a fight. He's in a real fight right now.
Yeah, he is. He's in probably tougher than he wants to be.
Exactly. And especially this is a great fight for Baltimore. Couldn't pick the better guy. Great arm. Nice
left
combination.
Hand that time by Cole scores the left hook. And Rahman struggling to find punching range, Shannon, right now. Cole doing a good job of smothering the rock.
Right. Doing a great job. I love that inside stuff. You know, he's just pushing. I sparred him for 3 weeks. He pushed me around before. He sparred in a 12-foot ring.
But if you use a strong jab, can a guy smother you like that if you're really pumping it out there?
No, he can't, but that's Rahman's problem right now. He's not. He's abandoned the jab. He's just looking for a knockout now.
Closer fight than Hasim Rahman expected here in his backyard of the ballroom at Michael's 8th Avenue. Larry Michael, Jon Saraceno, and Shannon Briggs with you ringside here on Comcast Sportsnet. That man right there, Al Cole, has done a great job strategically so far in this fight, John.
There's no question. He's fighting the right style for Hasim Rahman, who is not in peak physical condition. Rahman couldn't blast him out with that big right hand early, and now he's struggling.
Avenue, he has to work.
I'll tell you something else, Larry. This is the 5th consecutive fight that Hasim Rahman has had a different face in front of him when he comes back to the corner. That is not good. Adrian Davis trained him for a series of fights, including both Lennox Lewis fights. Then he had Bowie Fisher for Vander Holyfield, Buddy McGirt for David Tua, and Floyd Mayweather for John Ruiz. And tonight he's got somebody else. That's part of Rahman's problem. His career, after he won the title, was marked by instability in and out of the ring. He became a bit of a fat cat, quite frankly, which happens to a lot of guys when they make that much money.
It's a very, very tight fight. I want to get John Scheinman's scorecard very quickly here in round 7. John, how was this fight scored on your card through 6?
Just like you said, Larry, I have a dead even 57 all. Cole won the last round. I think he's in charge.
I'll tell you what, he's ready to go right now is Al Cole.
Rahman throwing some thunder at Al Cole, who's hanging on, and Rahman senses it.
I tell you what, Rahman...
Big left hand by Rahman. Cole is up against the ropes. Rahman trying to finish it out here in round 7. Cole still standing, though, right in front of him.
What a gutty performance by Al Cole.
What a tough guy, man. What a great guy, man.
Shan, he might be too tough for his own good,
Yeah,
though.
definitely. This guy, like you said, he had a lot of personal problems. He wouldn't walk away from the ring. What a guy.
Rahman misses with the right hand. Cole's still in a lot of trouble. He's still a minute 20 to go in this round. Good jab by Cole. Tags Rahman. Somehow Cole is still standing.
Rahman's tired. He's tired. He's punched himself out.
Yep. You see how unsteady Rahman's legs are.
Definitely.
If Al Cole could only punch hard and had some wind left, Rahman might be in trouble here.
Definitely.
Somehow Cole is still there, firing back. 50 seconds to go in the 7th.
This is ballroom boxing
There you
at
go.
its best.
Can you beat this?
Good shot to the body by Cole. I think Shannon's right. Rahman might have punched himself out a little bit.
I think Rahman's wondering what is holding Al Cole up.
He smells blood, but at the same time, you're fighting a guy. What a guy, man.
And this is guts. I mean, a lot of guys by now, they would have been out of the fight.
Huge jab by Rahman again. Rocks the dome of Al Cole.
I'm serious. The promoter who put this show on, Scott Wagner, what a guy. This is a great show right here, man, Baltimore.
Cole cannot afford to be up on the ropes right now. Still just 16 seconds left in this round. A big round for Hasim Rahman. Uppercut by Rahman scores. And that jab again, pounding the face of Al Cole. Seems like he found a reservoir of energy there in that round.
Well, we're going to go back to this round. Rahman really hurt Cole on the inside with short right hands and left hooks. And there was a lot of steam behind those punches. I'm not sure what kept Al Cole up. Just a bruising round, Larry.
Question is, what does Al have left for the rest of this fight? We still have 3 rounds to go.
I'm not sure, man. This is tough. This is a tough one for me to say. I don't know if I was in the corner, man. I may stop it.
Yeah, he's taking a lot of punishment, Al Cole.
And what a guy, you know.
It's been a credit to boxing.
Definitely.
Big-time power shots on the CompuBox stats in round 7. 30 of the 72 shots landed by Rahman were power shots on a 44% connect rating. He threw 80 punches in round 7. At this rate, in this round for a heavyweight, that's pretty strong.
Well, I've got Rahman ahead unofficially on my card, 67-65.
Almost twice the average punches landed and thrown by Rahman in that round. So he really stepped it out in round 7, Shannon.
Yeah, it seems like Cole can't miss him right now, though, with the jab for some reason. I think Rock's just plodding in, trying to get that KO that he didn't get last round. And Cole has not missed with one jab. Look at that. Bop, every time.
It's a great strategy, especially after what happened in round 7.
I'm serious.
Crowd certainly into it here at Michael's 8th Avenue. A sellout crowd tonight.
Rahman is exhausted after that 7th round when he threw everything at Al Cole. And Cole, through sheer determination and guts, took it all and has come back for the 8th round.
Rahman is trying to time Al Cole right now to land that one home run shot.
Tell you what, I now see it being a distance fight. I think Cole is going to fight and fight to survive and hold on and see if he can get Rahman out of there maybe with one shot. And Rahman is tired right now. Yeah. He's fatigued.
He's not punching, man. He's not punching.
I just can't see Cole having the power to be able to take Rahman out.
Probably won't be. It looks like it's going the full distance. But that was Rahman's best shot, the 7th round. I mean, he was turning over those short punches, Shannon, on the inside.
Yeah, vicious blows. I like the way Cole's boxing. This guy, Rahman, he's such a beast. I mean, imagine if this kid got in shape.
Aren't you amazed that Al Cole's able to move around the ring on 39-year-old legs after taking that kind of punishment?
I'm serious, man. He's a real man. What can you say?
A little cut above the left eye of Hasim Rahman, a little nick above the left eye. Rahman, I would agree, fellas, that he's almost taking this round off.
Yeah.
From the work rate he had in round 7, I don't blame him.
And remember what Hasim Rahman said before the fight in our interviews. If Al Cole takes him 10 rounds.
Oh, he's hurt. He's hurt. Cole's hurt.
Cole trying to stay upright. The corner helping him stay upright.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hasim Rahman, John, to continue your thoughts, that if it goes 10 rounds, it's a win for Al Cole.
Yeah, he said it plainly, and you know what? He was right to say that. It's true.
I mean, I think he underestimated. I mean, I wouldn't say that. This guy's for everybody. You can't say that. This guy's for everybody.
But this guy's saying he's a top 5 contender, former heavyweight champion against a guy who's had a horrendous record against heavyweights, and although his experience has been sliding down for a long time, he should have been able to get Cole out of there, but Cole showed a lot of determination.
Let's check the corners here. You know, take a look at the opponents, and John, I guess you could really argue your point. A loss to Lance Whitaker, David Azad, Jeremy Williams, Cedric Fields, Vinny Maldonado, Sherman Williams. These fighters are not in the class of Hasim Rahman.
No,
okay?
But what happened is he did train for this fight, Al Cole, and he's motivated.
Exactly.
He knows this is live on television.
He was in camp with Shannon Briggs for 3.5 odd weeks.
I'm going to tell Rahman you're part of the reason why he's still standing.
There you go.
I don't want to be sitting here, though, when he comes over.
Let's check the corner of Rahman and see if there's a sense of urgency in his corner. Well, there's no sense of anything.
See, 5 trainers in 5 fights. I don't like it.
No, I'm not impressed with that either, I got to tell you.
Rahman's got to get serious about who's in front of him and keep that guy there.
Rahman throwing only 39 punches in round 8. He did take the round off, if you would look at the CompuBox stats. And we want to check John Scheinman's scorecard here, as this fight is scheduled for 10 rounds. John?
Larry, 76-75. Rahman clinging to a 1-point lead. I mean, there's no reason he should have taken that last round off. He needs to do what he's doing now. Try to finish the job strong, because it's close on my card.
Big right hand by Rahman.
Yeah, big right hand.
Another right hand by Rahman.
He smells blood. He smells blood.
Another right hand by Rahman. And Al Cole is hanging on right now.
Well, he's trying to smother and hold. He's doing the right thing, but I tell you what, they may have to stop this fight, Larry.
No, that was bad.
Al Cole is okay. He's okay, tied up in the ropes. Not called a knockdown, but he is in trouble.
This man's
right hand by Rahman again.
Too much punishment, too much punishment.
Cole hanging on right now. It's a very close fight, and the referee, Malik Waleed, who's done a fantastic job tonight, steps in.
He's got to look at Al Cole very carefully. He's got a lot of wear and tear.
Yeah.
Punching back, however.
Rahman has tape hanging, and he's trying to tell the referee so the referee can get some time.
And this will be
there you go. That's gonna help him. That's gonna help him.
Save Al Cole.
Definitely. I think the referee needs to retape that. That's not right.
Referee Malik Waleed securing the tape on the glove of Hasim Rahman.
I think his corner should have retaped that.
Normally we see them retake the glove.
Exactly. I think there was something wrong with that.
Al Cole nodding to Hasim Rahman. No, you're not hurting me, but that jab gets through again. I'm telling you, Al Cole has a ton of heart. Yeah. Still up, still battling, and he's taking a pounding here in round 9.
And look at the tape again. Look at the tape, Larry.
It's coming loose again.
Exactly. The referee should have taken it over to the corner.
Use the duct tape, Shannon.
Yeah, good point.
It always works.
Always works. He should. The referee. That's not right. The referee should not be doing that.
Because the tape is soaked with sweat.
Exactly.
It's not gonna hold.
He has to retape that.
Either that or cut it. And this, of course, working to the favor of Al Cole. See the corner of Rahman, and again, every second that goes by assists Al Cole in recovery.
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna definitely help. If he uses his legs right now, he can, make it out of this round. There you go.
Rahman with that jab. He's done a great job here in round 9.
Imagine if this kid got in shape, man. This kid's a beast. Rahman's an animal.
You know about Rahman?
Yeah, he
might be the best heavyweight in the world if he's in shape.
He's an animal. He's just a naturally strong kid, you know?
There's a jab by Rahman, followed by the right that came up just a hair short. Rahman, a flurry of punches, and Al Cole in trouble again. 30 seconds to go. If Rahman connects with one more power shot, it could be over.
I don't think Rahman wants to hit him that hard. I think he kind of, he's like a sitting duck up there.
He's hit him with everything he's got. And Al Cole somehow is still there.
See, the fight's so close, and Cole's fighting back. That's why they're not stopping.
Yeah, exactly. He is punching back in the clinches and everything.
A huge round 9 for Hasim Rahman. And this fight has 3 minutes to go. Wow. I want to check in with Jon Scheinman for the 10th and final round as upon us. Jon Scheinman through 11 rounds. What does your scorecard say?
Well, Rahman finally has distanced himself from Cole in the scoring on my unofficial card. He's up 86-84. Tremendous round. He needed to turn it on because I don't know if Cole couldn't have won a decision here. He was really controlling the fight well, and Rahman, I think, maybe sensed that, and with the urgency, he came on. So I got him up by 2, Larry.
Let's take a look at some of the action from round 9. And Hasim Rahman had Al Cole almost out in that round.
Yeah, man. Rahman knows, I got to get this guy out of here. This guy's, hanging around too long. And you got to give credit to Rahman. He knows, and that's a fighter. He knows. Listen, let me steal these rounds.
He's not sleepwalking.
Exactly.
Phenomenal punch stats in round 9 for Hasim Rahman. Through 88 punches, landed 44, 34 of them power shots. My goodness. 10th and final round. Here we go.
I've got Rahman ahead by 2 points.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to disagree with Rahman. A 10-round victory over this Al Cole, as trained as he was, is no embarrassment.
Not at all. Not at all.
And Rahman put a lot of pressure on himself looking for the knockout.
Exactly.
But the decision win against this Al Cole is a good win for Rahman.
Exactly. And this is a great way for Al Cole, a great fight for him, even though if he loses, you know what I'm saying? It's a great fight for him. He really trained for this fight. He took it serious. He lived in my house for 3 weeks. He stayed, not only trained with me, he stayed at my house. So he worked hard.
You got some emotions in his favor.
Yeah, I know, and I love Rock too. I knew him since he was an amateur. I like him a lot. I'm impressed with him. This kid could always, he can do what he wants to do. He's like a lot like me.
Shannon, I want to thank you because we're going to get out of here pretty quick afterwards. I want to thank you right now for coming by and joining us. You've been a big addition to the crew.
Well, I want to thank you guys for having me. It's always a pleasure to be with you guys.
And I miss you.
Thank you, sir.
Great to see you again, Shannon.
I appreciate that, man.
Shannon Briggs saved my butt a couple times. I want you to know.
Can I have some of that hair before I go?
Forget about it. I'm losing. I'm getting old, man. I'm losing it.
All right, this is the 10th and final round. Halfway through, Hasim Rahman and Al Cole. Fans here at Michael's 8th Avenue want a knockout, and they might get one. Nice combination by Rahman. Cole in trouble again.
Well, I just heard a few boos, and I don't know what people are booing about.
Oh, my goodness. Rahman laying it right to Al Cole.
I think the fight should be stopped right here. I think it should be stopped.
A left hand by Rahman scores.
Cole came back with a right hand. Just does not have the power. And he may be a little too brave.
Referee's first job is to protect the health of the fighter, and I think Al Cole's had enough. Even though he's game and he's still in there, Rahman's not going anywhere. Rahman's not going to get knocked out.
Yeah. It's 48 seconds left. If this is Cole's last fight, let him, go out in the decision. I'm not mad at the ref on this one.
No, I'm not mad at him, but some of those shots,
man.
Vicious
shots,
Hasim Rahman and Al Cole closing 30 seconds of this fight.
I know Al's going to consider whether he's going to fight again. I know his promoter and manager, Greg Cohen, those guys are going to take a look at it. Oh, man. And figure out what he's going to do next. Maybe he should just retire. But he's a great guy, great human being, great for sport.
To the credit.
Rahman has very little left. You can see Hasim Rahman almost completely punched out here in round 10. But he tagged Al Cole with the flurry midway through this round.
Why are people booing? I hear some people booing. I can't figure that one out. They don't know boxing if they're booing.
Great fight. Great fight.
Hasim Rahman and Al Cole go the distance.
Great fight.
Decision is in the hands of the judges here, and the fight, I think, surprisingly to some, has gone the distance here at Michael's 8th Avenue.
I mean, no handicapper would have picked this fight to go 10 rounds.
Well, I mean, if you look at Al Cole's record, if you take a look at Al Cole's record, when was the last time Al Cole was stopped? You got to take a look a long way back to see when Al Cole was stopped.
Yeah, he's been a durable fighter, even as a heavyweight, even though he hasn't been a winning heavyweight. But the problem is he's always taken too much punishment. I didn't think he'd be able to handle Rahman's power.
Last time Al Cole was stopped in the ring was August of 2001. So maybe not the biggest surprise in the world that he lasted the distance, the 10-round distance, with Hasim Rahman tonight.
Well, I guarantee you, Steve Nelson, Rahman's manager, is surprised because that's not why they got Al Cole tonight. It was not for this fight to go 10 rounds and for Rahman to be so-called life and death with this guy. They thought Al Cole was going to get blasted out in the first 9 minutes of the fight.
Rahman averaged only 11 jabs per round, and if you take a look at his history, the average is about 29 jabs. I mean, he is one of the most active jabbers, maybe the most active jabbers in the last 10 years in the heavyweight division. So the 11 jabs per round, not up to his standards, and we thank CompuBox for that stat.
Great job.
And we await the decision as Al Cole makes his way across the ring. These guys have zero animosity against each other. You see a little nick above the left eye of Hasim Rahman. Looking back, highlights from round 7.
Well, that was a huge round for Rahman when it looked like Al Cole was going to get knocked out. We go to the 9th round. Again, Rahman turning over those short punches on the inside. Cole in all kinds of trouble, survived. Went into the 10th and final round with Rahman banging away, cracking on Cole's skull. Somehow, Al Cole survived and fought a valiant fight tonight here at the Ballroom Boxing.
So the scorecards are being tabulated at ringside, and we would be shocked if it was anything other than a decision win for Hasim Rahman. But, John, we've been shocked before in the squared circle, so you never know. Al Cole did a lot early.
Yeah, he did.
To compete, but if you look at physical punishment, certainly Al Cole on the receiving end of a pretty decent beating tonight at the hands of Hasim Rahman.
Well, he absorbed a lot of shots from that man right there, Hasim Rahman, former heavyweight champion, trying to make it back on the comeback trail. He's had a very difficult 3 years since knocking out Lennox Lewis with that one shot in South Africa. I had him winning unofficially 96-93. But again, that's just our scorecard here at ringside.
So the scorecards, again, you know, when it takes a while to see the scorecards tabulated, that would signify a very tight decision as they double check the numbers.
Sometimes it does.
Trying to find Pat O'Malley among the cluster of people in the
crowd.
Ballroom ring.
Boy, I don't think we've ever had this many people inside the ring.
I don't think we've had this many people inside the ballroom, for crying out loud. I mean, this is the biggest crowd we've ever had. It's been a great night, and the decision is in. Let's see who won. Let's go to Pat O'Malley.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. We go to the scorecards for the decision. All 3 judges, Bill Holmes, John Gradowski, and Don Risher, score it 96-94. The winner by unanimous decision, Hasim the Rock Rahman.
Hasim Rahman with the unanimous decision, 96-94 on every scorecard. Pretty close fight, John.
Well, did you notice Hasim Rahman exhale when his name was announced? I mean, he was not sure, I don't think, Larry. We'll have to hear in a post-fight interview with George, but he wasn't sure he won the fight.
There was a look of angst on his face. There you see the stat, the first win since 2001, and that is a monkey off his back. Hard-fought win. He deserved the win. Al Cole was fighting at his best. That's the best Al Cole has been in a couple years. There you see the face of Al Cole. Certainly looks like the loser in this one. George Johnson standing by with The Rock, the winner. Let's go to George.
Well, Rock, I mean, you talked about coming into this thing. You wanted to be impressive, and yet you finished this one with a decision. Your thoughts about that?
Very disappointing for me. Al Cole came in excellent shape. He came to fight, but I came to get a knockout, and I can't pinpoint what it is right in this minute. But I didn't get it. I felt I heard him hurt a couple times, and I should have knocked him out. But I let him off the hook. God knows best, so I can't call it.
What was it about Al, though, I mean, that maybe surprised you the most? I mean, we knew the guy was going to be 40. He seemed like he was moving all over the ring. Did that kind of confuse you a little bit?
Well, I mean, I couldn't cut it off as well as I thought I would be able to. I think I came with the wrong game plan. I just knew I was going to get a knockout. And when it didn't come, it seemed like I just had to adjust, and I didn't make the adjustment in time. I feel like if I'd had 12 rounds, maybe I could have finished it off, but God knows best, so I accept whatever decision it was.
With all the talk of you coming in at 255 pounds, just 4 pounds lighter than you were against David Tua, you know, there's going to be people out there who are going to say maybe you should have been a little lighter. Your thoughts about your weight and your shape coming in?
Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Just the weight I came in. I feel like I may agree with them in the back of my mind, so next time I think I'll come in a little lighter. And, I definitely need a knockout on Comcast, definitely. Messed up my debut, but I think on the second installment, I'm going to have to promise my fans a knockout.
When you talk about the second installment very quickly, where will it be? How long do you think it's going to be before you get back in the ring again?
Well, I think I'll be April 16th on Comcast in Dover Dams Casino. So I'm looking to go right in the gym. This weekend, Monday, I'll be in the gym training, getting ready, trying to cut down on my mistakes. I think I'll review the tape and just cut down on every mistake I made.
All right, good job again. Congratulations on your win. Hasim Rahman, let's send it back over to Larry.
All right, George, Jon Saraceno, Hasim Rahman, very blunt and honest in the post-fight conversation with George Johnson. Disappointed he did not get the knockout. We're going to find out next time at Dover Downs if he can step it up another notch. So Hasim Rahman, unanimous decision winner tonight in the Ballroom. More to come in a moment.
Ballroom Boxing has been brought to you by ballroomboxing.com and by Michael's 8th Avenue. Well, once again, Hasim Rahman comes away with the victory. His 36th of the season, or of his career, excuse me, coming in. Wanted to be very impressive in this one, was looking for an early knockout against Al Cole, but was surprised by the durability and the speed of the 39-year-old Al Cole. But in the end, he earns a unanimous decision and continues his journey as he tries to regain that heavyweight title. Once again, for Larry Michael, Jon Saraceno, John Scheinman, I'm George Johnson, saying goodbye from Michael's 8th Avenue in Glen Burnie, Maryland. Once again, Hasim Rahman knocks off Al Cole and moves on. This telecast has been a presentation of Ballroom Boxing and Comcast Sportsnet. Stay tuned, Sports Night is up next.